Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. All right, guys. Istungon. Jokayade.
Istungon.
All right, Mayo. So we don't have good morning. We don't have good morning. So we just say Istungon is okay or all right. Jokayadega means did you make it through the night? But now this is one person. I'm talking to you. I say Istungon Jokayadega. But if I want to say it to a group, like, I used to hear this, especially when we had a wake service or something, and there was people there, and we would walk in, we say, Istungon Jokayadega. Did y'all make it through the night okay? And this is anytime, even like at a ground ceremony, all night. You say, Istungon Jokayadega. What's that? Right. There's some up here too. So this is like, did y'all get through the night okay? So this is something that we say, I mean, in my family, that's what we did because I know my uncle, he would go to a ground. And of course, we were there, but we'd leave before daylight because he was partaking in the ceremony. And then when he came in the morning, my mother would ask him, did everything go okay? Did y'all make it through the night okay? That's how we greeted and wanted to know, we don't have, we're not like Europeans, good morning, excuse me, please. It's the tone of our language that puts that down, the tone. And that's why I was teaching sounds. So, I noticed that a lot of people, they say, I can speak, but I don't know how to read and write. Or they don't know how to speak, and enunciation, pronouncing the words is a big thing for me. Because in my class, I don't want to change the language. I want to save it. And when you change the language, it's not the language anymore, right? It's not the language anymore. It's changed and it has evolved. Are they letting me? Huh? Oh, okay. One. When they say that you're changing, or it's not the same language. It turns into something different. So I'm going to emphasize on sounds because sounds is the biggest thing in pronouncing. Pronouncing is something that we need to get, right on. And sometimes there's a little bit of difference in enunciation, and that's okay because it's understood. We understand each other. And there may be a little bit of dialect difference, and that's okay because it's understood. But now when you walk up to me and say, Fujo, I have no clue what that is. And the speaker wouldn't know that. Somebody needs
Joyce
to.
Bear.
Huh?
I don't know. I hadn't seen her in a long time.
So somebody needs to. They need to stop their. They turn the mic off, guys. How do you read them? Okay. First thing I tell people, and some of you may be new and some of you may be past students, but this is one thing I stress is sounds. Because our language is sounds, and I'm going to show you why they are sounds. Okay? I'm going to show you why our language, I want you to study this. Because I can't get all this on there. Hang on. This is not the right one. I want to do sounds due to the fact that you can't just let me see if I can get these sounds up here. That's not all the sounds, and I don't want just half, I want all of it. And for you new students, if you have questions, I want you to ask. There's no stupid questions. And for you new students, don't be afraid to make a mistake. Because, you know, and another thing is I want you to forget English. And you're wondering why. Well, English is a dominant, it's a dominant language now. So I try to teach where, you know, we don't want to change this language. We just want to save it and keep it as long as we can in our tribe. How come this isn't? Okay, here we go. Now listen, like I said, I'm gonna go through this and I want y'all to just listen. And you know, when I say forget English, when you see this letter, you've been all your life, you've been looking at it as a A. Ever since you was a child. And our kids are going through this. I have grandkids that live with me and they're doing the same thing. They see this A. And they say A, C, E. But I have to tell them, this is not English. This is Mvskoke. And I'll say, ah, G, I, E, B, he, A, G, li, me, ni, o, B, C, C, D, U, we, and you know, see how they sound? And you may think it sounds a little bit like, this don't sound right. It is right in the Mvskoke language. It is what it is, okay? It's the sounds that makes this language so beautiful. You know, that's because we don't speak like Europeans. We're speaking in sounds, and that's what I'm going to show you here. Here we go again. Okay. Ki. Chi. Is like a soup. Right here. Hear that? Ki. Ki is like a soup. Ayo. Is a hawk. Okay. Remember when you this. Okay, let me go back over this right here. Chi.
You're a lifesaver. Thank you. It's going to sound really weird otherwise.
He, and this is where this one right here is confusing. Everybody sees this as a E sound. In the Mvskoke language, it's A sound. It's A. And you know, all your life you've been looking at it as like E, but it's a A, like hey, hey, Begida, 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 Lee, right here. Y'all need to mute y'all's mic, somebody. So please mute your mic.
People know. Like full blood.
Okay, this is another confusing one, and they have a hard time. And I want you to pay attention to your mouth, where your tongue is positioned, and how your mouth is shaped, because the Mvskoke language is very prominent in the mouth. if you can't understand me, I want y'all to look at me. You can't see me right now.
Word in there, and then one word.
Okay, lead me, knee. Oh, this is not O. It's
It's not like you'll hear, but.
Oh.
somebody needs to mute your mic. B,
Dang.
C. Now, this is another one right here that everybody looks at and they make a mistake on. Is C. This R is a C sound.
C.
C. C. D. This T is a D. Ooh. We, ye. Okay. So it's G, E, F, He, A, G, Li, B, D, O, B,
E,
C, C, D, U, E.
we, E.
So if you actually, we're kind of doing this in English, but if you actually heard it the way it's really said, you would go J, E, F, He, A, G, L, M, N, O, B, C, D, O, we, ye. See the difference? And the tone has everything to do with language. And I'm gonna go back over these because, you know, so y'all need to, I cannot only see her, no others can see. Y'all can't see what I'm showing? Can y'all not see it?
I can see it.
I can see it.
I can
I can see it.
I can see it.
Somebody said they can't see it.
I can
Maybe
see it.
They might just be on the phone or something.
Okay,
I need a computer.
so,
No,
This-
I'm not on my computer. I can't see it. I can only see you.
That's why.
What? I'm on my computer and I can only see
prob-
the
you-
speaker.
You probably need a computer.
I'm on a computer.
Try
Are
going
you-
up into the corner and change your view.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Change
Okay,
my
now-
view. Change my view to what? I'm sorry.
Okay,
Side by
so,
side.
here we go. Now, see, we just don't have single letter sounds. We'll put two sounds together to make a sound to make the language. Okay? And I don't want to say word because word is European. But to make a sound to mean something like this, ofki. Ofki is like a soup. Everybody knows soup, but we say ofki, and it's ofiki, ofki. Ayo, ayi-o, ayi-o. And I'd rather, you know, I always tell my students, I'd like for y'all to learn these and use them in spelling, like this. Ofki, ofiki, ayo, ayi-o. And so if y'all can just try that, you know, I had a woman, an older woman, she knew the language, she knew the old language. But when she didn't know how to read and write. I didn't either. But you know, after she learned the sounds, I was teaching the class and she was in it. I started teaching sounds and sounds and sounds, and she told me, she said, I can read the Bible now. See, she knew how to speak. She just didn't know sound. And I didn't either. You know, as speakers, we didn't know there were sounds. I didn't. I had to learn this just like you are doing now. I had to learn it. Okay. So we did that. Okay, now look here. I want to show you something here. And I want to show you why these sounds, I stress them. It's Look here. Every sound that we're going to study is in the Mvskoke word, in the Mvskoke speaking language. So look how many there is. Look at there. Those are just sounds, guys. But I need to go to sounds first. Let me see if I can find out. 3-syllable words, 2-syllable sounds. Um, this is really okay. Okay, these are two sounds put together. And I'm sorry, but I can't find my 2-syllable sounds here. This is what's going to be hard to do. I don't know where they're at. Let me see, they might be on the bottom of this. Maybe, who knows? Nope. Single sounds. Okay, I'm gonna go here and then I'll go back to we'll go do some explaining, but these are sounds. Okay, when you put ah, ye, o, ah, yo. When you put ye and o together, oh, you get yo, ah, yo, a hawk. And this is, see, this was harmony on there, but we call it soup. Off, gi. Ah, fi, gi, e. When you put ah and fi together, you get off. Gi, harmony. Chi, me, G-E-B-E. G means you, okay? Means you, but that's putting G and E together and me and E together and you get G, me. See, it means you. See how these sounds are turning into language. These sounds is language. Chufi. Chufi is a rabbit. But you know, way back, they called it Bashigola. Bashigola. That was the old word for it. Then how see how it changed? It has evolved. Chufi is a rabbit. G-U-F-E. Chu and fi. Chu, put G and U together, you got chu. And fi, you got fi-e together, you got a rabbit. So that's why I stress sounds. Because when you learn sounds and tones, we have tones. You'll learn the tones with this, and the tone can change the meaning of the word. Tones can change the meaning of a word, just using a tone. And I'm gonna go back through all this stuff before I take y'all forward, okay? Because some of you are new and some of you are old, but I'm gonna tell you something. I still use my dictionary and I still use my sounds to this day. And I'm a fluent speaker, but I still use my sounds to this day. You never stop using sounds. Chola, chola, G-U-L-I-A. When you put G and U together, you get cho. La. Li and A, you get la. Chola. And see how these sounds are turning into this? You know, it makes it you know, when I first, and I've done some in-depth study of language, and this just blew me away. Because, you know, my parents, I come from a household of speakers. So my parents and my family didn't say, this is how you spell this word. I didn't know sounds. All I knew was to speak. So, you know, and we're gonna go into this, we're gonna go into these tones. I'm gonna go into tones too and show you how it changes the meaning, okay? But right now, look here. Chalo. When you put G and R together, you get ja. Lo. Li and O together, you get lo. Chalo. That's a trap. Chalo. I want y'all to listen to me as I speak. Now, hear my tone. Chalo. 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 And then a mouth. When this is 3-letter sounds, when you put G, U, Ki together, you get chok. And we and ah, you get chokwa. Chokwa is a mouth. And see, you're also learning words here too, guys. You're also learning different words. Chokwa is a mouth. Jadi. Jadi. G and ah together, you get ja. D and E together, D is red. See how these sounds is making a language. Sounds. We speak in sounds. And that's how come tones come into this. Tones. Tones come into this language because you are speaking in sounds, and tone has everything to do with that. And I want you to know that it's vocal. Language is vocal. Any language is vocal. So you have to say this. If y'all want to say it, go ahead. I don't, I'm fine with it here because I want y'all to be able to say it. Like I said, don't be afraid to make a mistake. Don't be afraid to ask questions because there's no stupid questions, okay? If I can answer it, I will answer it. Don't be afraid to.
My God, I was off by 10.
Yes, you'll have access to these handouts. You'll be able to print it off, and you'll be able to also it'll be recorded so that you can go back to it.
Did I just see a dog?
Well, okay, right now we're doing this. Uski. Uski.
Full
O-C.
That looks like bad word.
Ush, because you got O and C together, you get ush. And
Uski.
sometimes, okay,
Uski.
pay attention to your mouth.
I got a nephew named
You
Oski.
hear this? You'll hear that uski is rain. And if you said rain, oh, like don't say oh, you say oh, you'll have oski. That's not a word in Mvskoke, oski. It's oski. Oski is rain. Oba. Oba is a noun. Uji is hickory. Oba is an owl. Odo.
Ow, no.
Now, B sound is real blunt. It's a short blunt sound. Oba.
Uba.
It's not oba, it's oba. O-B-A.
Ba. Uba.
There you go. Somebody just said it. Oba. But it's got B and A. And then hickory, this is a nut. Oji. Oji. O-G-E.
Very
Oh.
well. Good luck.
And chestnut. Odo.
Wait, we're
Odo.
Do you info?
I have one student in here with me, and I'm going to have him read these because he should know these sounds. You want to do it?
Thought he was supposed to sit to us. I told him once I
Guys,
got
I need to mute y'all's mic.
required, he was already sending out statement care letters to the parents.
I'm on lunches while I'm in class.
Excuse me.
Cinta
Jindagi, listen.
Abah just check.
Ma.
Oski. Oski. O, ba. O, di. O, do.
He's a student now.
O, mi. O, ki. Ba, si. Ba, ji. Bo, si.
See? And then you just put them together, guys. Sound them out, put them together.
Ba, za.
Mhm.
An, ni. A, da. A, ji. A, ha. Ala, ya, ha. Yak, pe. Wa, ga. What, go.
Good. Okay, now we're going to 3 little syllables. But I guess you should this.
Ho, ki. Ak, ho, ki. Ak, so, ki. Ak, hasi. Ka, ho, fa. Ka, pik, ni. Kam, cha, ga.
Okay, I want to explain this right here. Jump jaga. There's no silent sounds in the Mvskoke language. But right here, that's where pay attention to your mouth and where you gotta feel it. Okay, right here, you don't hear that he, jump jaga. But if you say it, you'll feel a slight right here in the base of your throat. Jump jaga. Jump jaga. That's a bell. And that's where I'm saying, make sure you know where your tongue is, because sometimes your tongue, like the "th" sound, the "th," your tongue is on top of your palate, "th." And that's how you pronounce this, okay? "Th." Okay, now this right here, jump. If you say it, you'll feel that. Slide, but it's there. But remember, there's no silent sound, but you will feel it. I want y'all to be able to pay attention where your tongue is, where your, feel that in your mouth, because it's real prominent in the mouth, okay? It's hard, you can barely feel it, but it's there. That's where, he's saying it over here, and he's saying it like, and he goes, woo, and it is sometimes you just have to be able to feel it, so it's this language, is, and that's why I took a lot of study into this. I put a lot of hours into this language to be able to explain it to you. And, I went to bed thinking about language. I woke up thinking about language. Through the day, I thought about language to figure out what I was speaking. Nagin bonado ya gomet. Nagin bonado ya. Do it bonaga. Get who you did. How could people learn it? And then I guess there's when I was thinking about it. In Hagi Utidundos Goemas. In Hagi it had sounds. So I started man allegistoemas when I started with that. Alleged said. And then Nakadam Agifeza. Idilezida, Bonaga, Idilezida, to put the words together. And in Hagi Ojidundon, man Agit says it nak Bonayat im Mabohezet. Animed Bonayat Mabohezet. I was listening to myself speak. And that's how I got all this trying to figure it out. So, and I'm gonna share it with y'all. You know, not, yapunaga, masaki dundo, istijari adiga, istijari fulada diga, imbunaga, masasagi dundo. Every Indian tribe that we have, they have different sounds, you know, they got different ways of speaking. So here we go again. Haramiza hashti. See, he knows these sounds, so I want y'all to listen to how he's pronouncing this now. Let's see. Bikoni nonsense right here.
Oh, Chibani. Picture. Chibani. Jok Saga. Chabaki. Chanaksi. 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 Ipoji. Ifiki.
Okay, hang on. Okay, when you're pronouncing words, when you see a double consonant like this, two of the same, yeah, hokoli idigaga, like this right here, you got to do both of them. You may not hear it, but you can feel it. Ipoji, ip. See, when you say ipoji, ip is just your lips are together. Ipoji, ipoji, and that's a sound. But you don't say the first one real clear because you got your lips together. Ip, barely there, but it's there because it's real prominent, you know, in the mouth. Okay, go ahead.
Ishtuji.
See. Okay.
Inocha. Wait. Inochka. Inochka. Ishtemat. Ishtemat. Imunga. Ihoma. Iyuba. Ilija. Igobi. Hombida. Hawogi. Juji.
Okay, right here. You don't hear that D in there, but your tongue is on top of your palate behind your teeth. Hut, Joji. Hut, Joji. If y'all say it, y'all can feel it. Hut, Joji. Their tongue is on top and it's got that barely there, that the hut, Joji. Okay, hut, Joji. You can feel it. Okay.
Hazaki.
Hasaki, clean. See?
Hobayi. Hobayi.
Obey. Obey. See? He-O-B-A ye. Obey ye.
Hobayi.
Uh-huh.
Hazoza.
Okay, here we go. Haso. Hear that? C-O-C. Hasosa. You got to pronounce both this right here. Those two C's right here. Hasos. And you don't feel this. You feel this first C. Hasosa. It's just it's a hiss. Hasosa. Okay, go ahead.
Hidodi. Hoktuji. Hayak ho. Hobilga. Albada. Hojida. Wichlida. Hoslida. Gochokni. Go nawa. Gazapi. Gajida. Rubaka. Isbaska. Igana. Ilokchi. Imabi.
It's supposed to be separated right here.
Oh,
It's a typo.
Imabi.
I missed you.
Isloga. Isloga. Ispogi. Inokwa. Ischoga. Isatka. Ispoga. Indala. Iskida. Ilida. Velasco. Fokida.
Oh,
Fokida.
two whistle.
Fokida.
Okay, see this right here? Foot, you hear that "t" in there. Fokida is to whistle, but right here to blow. Fo, you got that right there, base of your neck. Fokida to blow. See the difference right there? You know, I got a little grandson. He likes to whistle, so he's 7. He'll just walk around, you know, and I'll tell him that. I'll say, Nagin forky, don't ya? And he'll say, song. He might not hear song, but he just whistles. And this one, fokida. It's got that right here. You'll feel that he at the base of your throat too. Okay. Okay. Beehive.
Fohudi. Fiskida. Fikaba. Figaba.
It's got.
Oh, Figaba. Figaba. Dawidi. Hitozi. Ileswa. Hananwa. Hasise. Rikida. Legida. Mojose. Malumha. Rehienwa. Malega. Modiza.
Modisa.
Modiza.
Sa.
Modisa. Mahida. Nagofti. Noguzi. Nopsongi. Nopsukja. Nujida. Nizida. Abulga. Obiswa. Oboswa. Oboswa. Oslanga. Oktaha. Ozawa.
Osa.
Osa.
Hear that he? Sa.
Osawa.
That he is right there.
Osa.
Osa is wa. Osa wa is a crow. Any questions so far, guys? This is not any questions. Or you have any questions on this? And you're learning words here too as you're learning the sounds. Okay. And I need to find these 2 and 3 letter sounds before we even go on. But this is words. Now he learned the sounds, and he can read this. And
I have
right
a question. Oh,
Yes, go ahead.
I was going to ask if the letter V, which is pronounced I'm hearing it at the end of a word or sounds. Is it more like as opposed to like in the middle it's
It's no, it'd be still like ilida, da, it's real blunt, and then and I still get confused on this, because like I said, I haven't been doing sounds long, maybe about 11 years now. But the is usually at the end. But right here, look here. Mut. It's got a real blunt, short, blunt sound, while the is and the V is and it still confuses me. Sometimes I can't even hear. Like as a speaker, I'll say, what do you hear? I even get confused sometimes, but it's always blunt, and short and blunt, like fort, kida to whistle, fort, kida, but to blow, fo, hear it, fo,
Mhm.
fo, kida. You hear that he right here, and it's always, yeah, most of the time it's at the end, but not always like this. Figupka, figupka. See that, figup. You
Mhm.
don't even hear the but it's
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
Figupka. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Uh-huh. And anytime you have this and lead together, it's al, al. And then you add the sound to it, like gull, igalbi, igalbi, igalbi. It's always al here, al. So that's, this is just kind of, and then if we're here Thursday in Naskaba in Hayaka, they're saying it's gonna snow. And they might shut our work down for today, but Nagi don't know what. Friday they'll go shot that. I'll be back. Well, Friday. So Nagi, I'm gonna find those sounds and give them back, the 2-letter and 3-letter sounds. Ojidiwi. Yeah, it is like this one. EC, my God. Is. When you put those two together, you got is, do, G, and that's 2-letter sounds. And I need to go over that with you. I don't know why I wasn't on this one sheet, but I will get back to you on that. And we are going to go through it because this is a lot, even for speakers, to learn how to read, to learn how to spell. And, it's going to emphasize on this for the first. And this is a 6 weeks class, but you're going to see, because I got phrases for you too. And I got them broke down into sounds. So, bona hoyates in hagi ojidondo, yadondo ya, in hagi. Yet ojidondo, man, githi no what, ohonai, we can read if we learn this, we can read, bona ho idiono what if we speak, and you can spell. So, and I still do it this way. I still break it down. I know because I didn't know. Yeah. Oh, look here. Yeah, not to go. Here we go. We got a few minutes. Hits up. When you put G and R together, which is coming from the single sound, you got ja. G, J. This is C, G, and an A. Jo, ju, ja. Fa, fi, fe, fo, fu, fa. Ga, gi, ge, go, gu, ga. Ha, he, hey, ho, hu, ha. La, li, le, lo, lu, la. Ma, mi, me, mo, mu, ma. Na, ni, ne, no, nu, na. Ba, be, be, bo, boo, ba. We're going to go back over these. Well, it'll be on here. It'll be on here, guys. It's going to be on here, and you can print these off. If you can't, just email me, and I'll send it to you. And it's like right here. Ba, be, be, bo, boo, ba. And every Mvskoke sound is in here. Hitsaya. Bo, si. Bo, si. That's a cat. Tha, tho. Tha, tho. That's a fish. Tha, tho. Just put them together. But see, tha, tho. Sada. Sada. That's some people call it an apple. We call it a nugget underwater that tells the weather. Know the fruit. Persimmon. We called it that, but some people call it an apple. And hitaya. See this how these sounds work together. And you can take a single sound, oh, and go down here, oh, water. See? You know, this is how these sounds work together. And see, man, this is where you're finding out that our language is sounds. Okay? Our language is sounds. Okay, here we go. Ba, be, be, bo, boo, ba. Sa, si, say, so, su, sa. Sa, si, say, so, su, sa. Da, di, de, do, da. Wa, we, way, wo, woo, wa. Ya, ye, yay, yo, you, ya. Remember? Ya, ha. Ya, ha is a wolf. Ya, ha. It's a wolf. Everyone, bonaga ojia, yanoji dondo. Everyone, our language is in this right here. Okay? Ab, ib, abe, ob, oob, ab. As, is, es, os, us, us. Like this one, us, see. If you put us, see.
I want to make
Us.
sure I'm hearing you correctly. The K is pronounced like an S.
It's a gi. The
T.
K is gi.
T. Okay, thank you.
Gi. Like in like a car key. Gi.
Key.
Gi.
T.
Gi. We'll go back over this. And then we have as, is, as, os, us, us. At, eat, ate, ot, ut, at. Oh, I know. Hey, if she needs a size, we need to take some check.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah. Okay, now, when you put 3-letter words together, 3 sounds together, like si, ki, sock, sock, seek, sake, shook, sook, suck. Suck, jo. Suck, jo. Suck, jo. Got it. See, that's how this is how these, this is how these sounds work. Okay? Lock, leak, lake. Oh, no lee here. Lake, look, luck. Moss, meese, maze, mouse, moose, must. See right here. Must go get. Must go get. See, it sounds. Manoji don't know. Must go get. You know what you do? Must go get. Mott. Oh, mott, meat, mate, mut, mut, mut. Hawk, heat, hake, hook, hook, huck. Hoss, heath, haze, horse, goose, huss. Mark, meek, make, mook, mook, muck. Mon, mean, main, mon, mun, mun. You can get this on you can get it on there. So y'all, hull, heel, hell, hull, hull, hull. Knock, neek, nake, nook, nook, knock. Look here. Nook, wa, nook, wa, nook, wa. That's a neck. Nook, wa. Nuck, fast, feast, face, fuss, fuss, First, push, wa is a bird. Push, wa. It's just putting these sounds together and you'll come up with language. Push, wa is a bird. Push, wa is a bird. Fush. Let's see. Fusky. See this? Fuss. Fusky. Right here. Fusky. It's sharp. It's sharp. So see how this in high, it's got sounds. These are sounds, and you heard words from this. Okay, look here. Ja, see, ja, see. That's a pumpkin. Okay, here's some more. Knock, neek, nake, nook, nook, nuck. Fast, feast, face, force, foos, fuss. Jas, cheese, jace, joss, juice, just, juice, juice. Da, ki. Juice, da, ki is an egg. Justagi. Does that make sense to y'all? Are y'all seeing this, guys? Is it making sense to you? And now listen, I don't care how long this takes me, you're gonna learn this. I'm gonna keep going over it with you. I'm gonna keep going over it because, you know, sometimes we just go too fast for people. And this language is old as time. And, you know, I may not speak like other people. I may not, and there are times I mispronounce things and I make mistakes, people. I'm not a master at this language. I just teach what I've learned. So if, I had my mother, my father, my grandparents, my uncles, my aunts, they all spoke. And my house was just language. And that's how I learned. I guess it wasn't something I learned. It was it was natural. So if you have any questions, let me know. If I'm going too fast, let me know. I'll go back. I don't care how long we have to be on this lesson. We will. Okay. We will until you learn it. So any questions so far? Because we only got about 7 minutes. Hasiskithka. Hasiskithka. It's almost time. Hasiskithkoji is a minute. Ibagat ahoskidos. There's about 6 minutes left. Any questions? Nage aboka ojatanoat abohas. If you have any questions, ask. And I'm going to be speaking to you so you can hear it, okay? And I'll be translating as I go along so you won't get lost. And we will go on, but I want you to, we're concentrating on this because I think this is the most important thing right here besides speaking. And then we'll start doing word content and how to put words together.
Mvhayv,
Uh-huh.
all of this is on Instagram and YouTube.
Uh-huh. Yep. And this is pre-recorded, so you can go back to this recording and listen to it.
You get
Go ahead.
you get to it through Instagram. That's how we get to this again to rewatch.
Well, you can go back to the link, what you was on, and get it too. And
There's a link in the biography of the Instagram page.
Okay, thank you.
I have a lot of respect for these people that's taken this class. Because, out of 97,000 Mvskoke people, I think our guesstimate is maybe a little more than 1,000 or even less, maybe even 500. I don't know. We don't have a true count of that. I wish we did, and I was telling this just here just a few minutes ago. I was telling this guy, he said, I really appreciate what you do. He told me, and he said, because you speak the language. And I said, that was nothing 40 years ago. But it is today because there's not many speakers left. And, I teach college, I teach Head Start, I teach here. 3 days a week here, 2 days a week at the Head Start. And used to teach 2 days a week at the college, but now I'm down to one because I was, really getting overwhelmed. So I started teaching just 1 day a week at the college, and tonight was one of them. And, you have to be tireless because I have a passion for what I do. So I don't mind keep going over this. I don't mind being questions. And there may be times I can't answer you. Like I said, guys, I'm not a master at this. I am not a master at this. So I have a lot of respect for you that wants to take this. And I'm going to do anything I can. Do you go to daycare? They got a teacher over there, and I'm going to tell you something. Those kids pick it up because they're like sponge. And this is what I want to let you know too. As adults, we hear this and they'll say, oh, I can't learn that. You already defeated before you come in. But a child doesn't know it's a different language. He's just learning something. So if you take a 4 and 3-year-old and just started talking to them, they'll learn because it's not something they know. It's something they're just being spoken to. They don't look at it as something that they're learning. It's just something that they're being spoken. So they pick it up. And if your kids can speak that, keep it up. They may be the next generation to be standing where I'm standing now. So I want to say Mado to all of y'all. There's just 2 minutes left. I just want to say Mado to every one of you and hang in here. Don't just say, okay, I've had enough, and keep hanging there because the light will come on and you'll get this. You'll get it. The light will come on and you'll get it. Yes, it is. So just hang in there. And this language, as old as it is, it didn't take 2 years to die out. It took 40 years to die out. It's going to take another 40 years probably to bring it back. And if I got 40 years still left in me, I'll still be going, guys. And, just give it a chance. Don't give up too easily. Because, I figured the reason why this language came to Oklahoma was because our ancestors didn't give up. They had a 1,500-mile track, and they didn't say, I give up. I'm going to keep going on. That's why I'm here. If you're standing on Oklahoma soil, you had strong family to make it through that 1,500-mile walk. So, in Naskaba, in Hayatkat, Manchihijagathis, I will see you the morning after the middle. The middle means Wednesday. I'll see you Wednesday, day after tomorrow, day after Wednesday. So it says in Naskaba, they call it the middle. And I'll see y'all the morning after. Oh, I know, Jehizagas says, Mado, Jigazagashi. I say, Mado.
Hello.
Middle.
You do know how my hok tunga, ya, Ija Yijit, Ligoshin, Lega, Abogatasti. I'm saying, so y'all keep warm, live there, stay there being warm. Oh, I know, Mado guys.
Inga,
Huh, Inga.